and that's when he said, Lawrence Fox is to politics what Lawrence Fox is to acting. Which is, accurate.
I saw a great tweet the other day that Lawrence Fox is the poster boy for getting therapy after a divorce.
Oh, yes.
he's so, the man is so divorced right now.
Yeah, I saw one that said, despite having been divorced many less times than other people have been in the history of the world, he is somehow the most divorced man ever. My favourite I've seen is he's Tommy Robinson if you'd bought him in Waitrose.
Keeks described him last night as a sentient flip-flop.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That is good.
One that's been lost down the back of someone's garage for a while because it's lengthening and growing fur.
Still has some of that crusty skin on it from the last holiday.
Yeah.
No one washed it off before they took it out of the suitcase.
Yeah, no one wants. One. It's flip flop that no one wants. Speaking of things that no one wants, it's the Big Damn Cast.
Segues as smooth as peanut butter.
Oh yes, I like my peanut butter crunchy. Just like I like my podcasts.
I thought you were going to say, just like I like my women. Wait, what?
Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Madstopher. How you doing, sweet baby boy?
I'm good. I'm feeling very punchy today.
Have you had a trim?
You can tell.
I'm looking. For those who are wondering, we're still recording this remotely. It's been over a year now. This show's been recorded through a screen, and it always surprises me when Matt appears with a slight facial or hair change because it throws me off. I get really confused by it. I'm not prepared for it. Have you had a trim?
No, not for a couple of weeks. I had a little haircut before I went for my last job interview. But it's starting to grow out and kiss curl a bit now.
That's
so I've got
why.
a bit of a mohawk cowlick.
Yeah.
And my beard's coming into a new level of fullness. Because I periodically trim that back and grow. I don't have the full lockdown beard like I did before I started my job at Rainforest Retailer. Which I have on my staff ID photo, and it's very long. But you try wearing a mask for 10 hours a day with that thing. It's not easy.
With a massive beard, yeah. When was the last time you baby-faced? And that's not a euphemism.
Completely baby-faced would have been a couple of years ago. I haven't completely baby-faced. No, actually, no. I tell a lie. It would have been early this year, again, because of masks. And just having a mustache or a beard while wearing a mask for long periods of time is just sweaty and a mess. So I will just go and take it all off. Be like, okay, I'm going to be fine for a few days until I itch like buggery. But yeah, how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Just picturing you itching like buggery at work. It's like, hello everyone, don't mind me. I'm just going to look you all in the eye as I scratch my moistened hairs.
Itching and buggery, my two favourite pastimes.
I'm all right. I'm in that annoying between jobs period right now of about to find out whether or not a thing that I might be working on might be happening that may also be just enough to pay the bills every month.
Yeah.
Which would be nice, but also it could be the kind of job that stops me from doing other things, and as a freelancer that's not handy. So
hey, I know.
Yeah.
That's all I ever fucking do.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever aspire to be in the arts in any way, ever.
No.
2 reasons. A, it's even more difficult nowadays to try and juggle it as a career option whilst also staying afloat. And B, if you fuck off, then we've got more of a chance of getting hired.
Yes!
So it's less of a market, so bugger off, everyone.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we can be performative and whiffle and waffle into tin cans connected to USB devices with 2.0 leads, probably.
It's a series of tubes.
Yeah, it's that sums up the show. Welcome to Big Damn Cast. It's a series of tubes. We've got a bit of news to touch on this week, but not a lot news-wise in the pop culture world.
It's kind of big-ish. In that one of the big studios is waving the dick about for the next few years.
Big old P.
But it's kind of already stuff
on the big screen.
Yeah. It's kind of stuff we already knew that's just been
in
formalized. 3D. Show me that 3D dick. So yeah, and then you've got a surprise topic that I don't know about, which I'm going to enjoy. But before that, I want to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Lie down, everyone. Steady yourselves. Girdle your loins.
It's pretty common that I will have dreams about big movies before they come out. Like, I had at least 2 Rise of Skywalker dreams about me watching The Rise of Skywalker, and they're always fucking wild. Let me tell you about the dream I had about watching The Suicide Squad.
Oh, shit,
in
biscuits.
which
James Gunn's 2021's The Suicide Squad.
In which there was actually 2 characters played by Peter Capaldi. One of whom was the Thinker, and one of whom was some weird ice power dude, but not Mr. Freeze and not Captain Cold, like he had natural ice powers. And they were basically like good and evil versions of the other one. Like the ice power dude was like honestly trying to turn over a new leaf, and the Thinker was just like, man, I'm evil and a villain. And the ice power dude keeps thwarting the Thinker's attempts to sabotage the mission. There was a Green Lantern in it who gets splinched into another character via some weird teleportation accident.
Oh shoot! Okay.
There were only two of the Suicide Squad died.
Yeah.
One really early on, and then another one later on. Just weird, like none of the characters that are in the trailers were in it. It was just like all like weird characters that my imagination made up. Like a dude who can tow ships. Like that's his power. He can tow ships, like psychically.
I can move ships with my mind. Oh my god! So you're telekinetic? Yes, for ships.
And like a dude,
just for ships.
A dude whose name I can't remember, who can basically turtle. Like his head disappears into his chest as like a defense mechanism. And so there was like action sequences of him like taking aim and then his head popping down into his chest and just blasting. It was fucking wild, man. Like, I wish I could remember it in more detail, but I just wanted to share to you that last night I had a dream about 2 Peter Capaldis, one evil and one good, warring for the future of us all.
Mankind in 4 wrinkled Scottish hands.
Oh, I love it. Unless he misses the call. Because his phone was on silent. Right.
Didn't he get caught like in a conference last week? It was a Zoom call or something. He was meant to be on a Zoom for something or other, and he got the code wrong. And it was like an arts council or a library meeting or something. And Peter Capaldi just like popped up and it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I've got the wrong number. And then left. I'm going to have to read into it more, but it was...
I hope so. It sounds like a thing that a normal person would do.
Yeah.
So, yes.
In a week of horrid, terrible, disgusting news about people in genre, TV and fandom, it was kind of refreshing to see one story, even if it was blink and you miss it, was Peter Capaldi's a bit ditzy, isn't he? Oh, bless. Anyway, moving on.
It's all the drugs he did with Craig Ferguson back in the day.
All the LSD, all
the drugs,
the acid in the 80s that they were doing.
All the drugs he probably still does, because why not? Allegedly. No, he doesn't. Maybe.
Neither of them do. Well, Craig Ferguson's been sober for like 20 years in every possible way and complains about it all the time, and it generates so much material for him. And Peter Capaldi has been the face of a family show for the better part of the last decade. So as far as we're all concerned, definitely is not doing any drugs.
Bet he likes a whiskey, though. Righto!
He's Scottish. Dear Scottish listeners, if that is racist, soz.
But please send me some scotch, thank you.
Yeah, like all of it. Just come on.
And a haggis.
The weather is erratic as sin. It keeps going cold despite being sunny. Send me something that will warm my insides.
Send me a scotch, send me some haggis, and send me some lawn sausage.
Sausage should be square. It's the right way, and the fact that no one else has adopted it. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I know.
And I had a Krispy Kreme for breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah, Lou had got payday last week, and she went online because we'd both been craving a Krispy Kreme, but we only really like the plain ones.
Yeah, we did that a couple of weeks back. It was pretty good.
Yeah, our local supermarket that has a Krispy Kreme countery thing in it has stopped doing the dozen box of the plain ones.
Oh, which one's that?
Morrison's. And
I forgot they did Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to pay like £8 for 6 donuts we're not that enamoured by, when I should be paying like £10 for a box of 12 I know we'll like. I'd rather do that.
That's fair.
So she went on the Krispy Kreme website on payday without telling me, and they had an offer on. So for like £14 this morning at 8:15, lovely knock on the door, bright and breezy, a courier arrived and delivered a box with 24 glazed donuts.
Yes!
Just to remind folks, only 2 humans live in this house. Those donuts go off in less than 2 days. Breakfast today was 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. Dinner today will be 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. Dessert after tea will probably be 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. It's fine, we're going to have soup for tea, just to make it even.
But we're going to dip the Krispy Kreme donuts in them. Well, we're not. I'm not going to be there, but you know what I mean.
Don't tempt me. Lou's got tomato soup, and I imagine that could kind of work in a weird way, the sweetness going with the tomato.
Tempt me further.
Further, I will not dip a Krispy Kreme donut into this cream of chicken soup. So I'm going to have to eat a chocolate button. But aside from square sausage and where I'd like to stick it, what's going down in Clown Town?
So, Marvel did this thing where they did a trailer, but they did the annoying thing of it being a trailer with, oh, look, we've got some new footage from our upcoming films. And it's basically a tiny little bit of footage at the end of the trailer after they show a whole bunch of shit we've already seen, just being like, and it was a lovely voiceover by Stanley. And it was basically the whole thing was, come back to the cinema. It'll be safe soon. Have a look. Here's all the stuff we're coming out. And so
you missed us, right? Here's the slate. Yeah.
So we basically just got a big confirmation of release dates for the upcoming Phase 4 movies. Now that things are starting to settle down in terms of cinemas and cinema releases. So confirming a lot of stuff we already know. And teasing a lot of stuff we knew a little bit about and telling us a bit more. So, we of course saw some more of Black Widow, which is out on July 7th.
Also, a few pictures have come out for articles for Variety and Entertainment Weekly and stuff about Black Widow teeing it up again, involving one shot where she's facing off against Taskmaster crouched on the bridge.
Ooh.
And a lot of people have been taking note that the Taskmaster's physique in that shot looks awfully feminine. He says, indicating our Taskmaster episode from last year. Go back and listen to it, everybody. We have ideas.
Yeah, okay. I'm with it. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. September 3rd, 2021. Very excited for that. I want it in my... I think out of the 4 this year, that is the one that's got me the most excited, weirdly. We also got our very first, very vague, but hey, that's a bunch of sexy people on a screen.
Look, Kumail Nanjiani, Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie with a light sword.
It's nice. It's nicely shot because, of course, it is because Chloe Zhao just won a fucking Oscar. Eternals, November 5th, 2021. But also, not long after, we're getting Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. We're getting that on December 17th, 2021.
Which Andrew Garfield has just said he's not in.
Which is good, because I don't want the Spider-Verse thing.
I don't want it, but Melina's confirmed, so...
How confirmed is it?
He gave it all away in an interview, joking about how, like, oh, I'm in my 60s, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think he's talking shit. I hope he's talking shit.
Maybe. Or Garfield's talking shit and is throwing everybody a red herring to make them think that he's not in it. But I will say this. I don't want the multiversal Spider-Man story. I wanted something more down-to-earth and simple. If we're getting a multiversal one, and they bring back Maguire, but leave out Garfield... Bad show, Sony Pictures.
Yeah, that's a dick move. That would be a dick move. Especially if they are bringing back Jamie Foxx, as per the rumour.
Also, some more photos have been released from Morbius.
Which has been delayed again.
Yeah. It's not exclusive look at, just more behind-the-scenes stuff that people took in Manchester.
Yeah.
We noticed that there was the Raimi Spider-Man graphic in the graffiti.
Yeah.
And at the time we were like, well, that's wrong. Because if they're trying to tangentially tie it in with the MCU but not legally, that should be Holland. Also, that's the launch graphic for the PS4 Spider-Man game's Raimi's suit skin that came out. It's so weird. So that's not even from the films. That's a computer-generated image, you fucking idiot.
It's literally just what they had on hand.
But the interesting thing is, there's some graffiti in one of the shots of a black circle and two little cross white eyes and a smiley mouth. So there's some Venom graffiti in Morbius. And there's Daily Bugle adverts on the side of a bus that say, "Where is Spider-Man?" And the graphic on the paper is like it's the Earth. So it's like, okay, that's odd. And the Daily Bugle logo, font, and everything is the Raimiverse version. So I think the way Sony are hoping to tie all their Spider-Man villains together is they all exist in different versions of the Spider-Verse, so they will all eventually blah, blah, blah. Because, Spider-Man's villains are so likable for all these past 50, 60 years because they're all from different universe. Oh, wait, no, it's because they're all homegrown disasters. But sure, whatever.
Okay.
Morbius is set in the Raimiverse, confirmed, question mark?
Cool.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Dumb. But after Spidey hits our screens in December, although, I don't know, I have suspicions it'll probably go back. I can't help it. They wrapped not that long ago. That those things have so many visual effects. How the fuck are they going to get this ready for December?
Fuck knows.
What? No. Cocknose was the character from both Series 3.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So moving beyond this year...
They're doing Beyond? They're doing the Beyond story with the Beyonder, the sequel to the original.
If we ever see the Beyonder,
Secret Wars.
If we ever see the Beyonder in an MCU movie, I will actually not be that surprised because they've done fucking everything else, and done it well.
Put a pin in Secret Wars because I have some things to say about the 2015 one. I finally read it.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Into next year, into 2022.
Oh, here we go, boys and girls.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, 2022.
So not a long wait, then.
Sam Raimi, they must already be shooting it.
Especially considering he's in Spidey as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So we get some Doctor Strange at Christmas, and we get some Doctor Strange before Easter.
A Sam Raimi directed Marvel movie again.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but I'm glad to see it. Doctor Strange? Oh, it's taken.
Yes! Thor. Oh, yeah, that makes me happy.
Thor.
Every time I watch that film, that always takes me by surprise in a way that makes me smile.
Thor, Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Deep in production, that one.
There's no waiting, is there?
No.
This is early 2018 again.
Yeah, they are pumping them out.
Black Panther, Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp within I
honestly think
2 months
they would have been more spaced out had last year not gone tits up.
Yeah.
But I think
remember when Spider-Man Far From Home came out a month and a half after Endgame?
Yeah.
It was mad. It was you could go watch Endgame down the hall at the cinema and then watch a screen of Spider-Man 4 doors down.
But it was neat because it was a nice little palate cleanser after the epic sort of tapestry of Endgame to a much more personal story. And it still had a bit of globetrotting and fun, but it was way smaller stakes.
It was a story about a dorky kid and a dude in a fishbowl helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice.
That was really cool. We did our MCU marathon before Infinity War came out in early 2018. And because Black Panther was still in cinemas, we got up to... oh, God, what's the one before Black Panther? Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And then we booked it so that we went to see Black Panther that afternoon, went and got some food, and then went to Infinity War that night. And I was like, hey! This will worked out! So we might have the chance to watch a Spider-Man movie and a Doctor Strange movie in quick succession of one another. And then Thor.
Certainly within a 6-month period, which would be good fun.
Who is next?
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, July 8th, 2022.
Great title.
This is going to be interesting because obviously after the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman, they're kind of at a crossroads at what is going to happen with that character, with that franchise. So we shall see. I guess if they're aiming for July 8th, they've got to be entering production soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Black Panther 2 was in the planning, and I think initially was meant to shoot before the end of last year.
Yeah.
So pre-production would have begun in terms of like designs, concepts, things like that, and getting everyone booked and scheduled. Although obviously they were probably tentative, because I think Ryan Coogler is one of the people that has said since Chadwick's passing that like he was aware.
Yeah.
And you know, so they would have built a caveat into production in some way.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
That being said, they will have had to have completely rewritten the film.
Yeah, and
or,
not
or
just,
have written a brand new movie in,
and not
in
just
entirety.
Yeah, not just this film, but also future projects that Black Panther would have been a part of.
Yeah,
or at least the T'Challa version of Black Panther.
Because they said they're not going to recast him, which is
great. Like let that be his legacy. I mean, the man did Marvel stuff aside. Chadwick Boseman, after sort of coming to prominence, well, he was already well known, but like after like hitting the top A-list with Black Panther, well, with Civil War, really, did such a deep and broad body of work in like the 4 years between that and his death.
Yeah,
like he worked non-stop. So let that Black Panther be a part of that sort of incredible legacy that he's left behind of this short, really dense period of filmmaking where he was just banging out movie after movie after movie to almost universal praise. Like, I don't know of any of those movies that came out in that period that really got panned. Like even something like 21 Bridges, which was like not super well received, but it absolutely wasn't ripped apart or anything.
And every single one of the projects he worked on would always come with the note, regardless of whether the film was sort of, you know, groundbreaking or not. Chadwick Boseman is excellent in this. Oh, I've got a knock at the door. Wait right there.
You go get your knock at the door, and I will fill time by just, you know, talking about things and stuff. So Chris is answering a secret spy message, because what you don't actually know, and you have to keep this between us, listener, Chris is actually working for a secret division of Australian intelligence, which I know may sound odd, him being, on the surface at least, British. But what you have to remember about Chris is that he is a man of many faces, literally many faces. I've seen the pickle jars. I have seen the collection of desiccated, flayed visages, and let me tell you, it's a real good thing that he's coming back and sitting down at the microphone now, because it means I don't have to continue that story and give nightmares.
What I love about whatever you've just done is you could have just edited this out.
No, I could have, but I'm not going to, because I can't be asked.
I'm fuming. I said to Lou, I was like, so we're recording from 10. You're not due any post or anything, are you? Because we've got a little CCTV camera, so if so, I'd like keep the little camera up on my phone, and then I could, you know, just buzz down and say like, hi, just leave it behind the bin or whatever. And she went, no, not ordered anything. 5 parcels have just arrived for Lou.
5 parcels?
Yeah, 5 buggers. So
I would give her some credit and say, oh, she just slipped her mind. She's a busy woman. But 5 parcels, that's a lot of parcels. That's a lot of stuff parcels. To be expecting.
That's as many parcels as excellent roles Chadwick Boseman gave in the last 5 years between Black Panther bringing prominence.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, Wakanda Forever, whatever form that takes, however they sort of address the loss of Chadwick Boseman, that we're going to find out on July 8th, 2022.
Or don't, even. Like, it depends on what story Coogler's got planned. We've talked about this before, but for various reasons, I'm hoping if they do crown a new Black Panther, it isn't Shuri.
Not after
despite, you know,
Letitia Wright showing her ass in public on Twitter. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wait, she showed her ass? Or you mean
not
just like...
metaphorically speaking.
How much of an ass she is, but by being... like anti-vax, big into conspiracies, and you're just like, oh god, no. However, I just want to point out, if the filmmakers are listening, which of course they aren't, Ryan Coogler's got many more things to be getting on with than listening to this. But just in case, Nakia's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you completely set up Lupita Nyong'o as being an absolute badass in the first movie. She's right there, and she is, as of the story that we've seen, T'Challa's love and a warrior. And, if you are going to have T'Challa pass on, I think his queen should freaking become the Black Panther. Just
Lupita Nyong'o Black Panther. I want it. I want it.
I freaking want it.
I want it. I also want it to be November 11th, 2022.
That was, see, boys and girls?
So
that was a segue.
So I can watch The Marvels. Now, this was a reveal.
How genius this title is. Yeah.
This is a reveal because the S at the end of The Marvels is styled in Kamala Khan's. As Kamala Khan's S. Now, we know she's getting a series, and we've seen set photos of the young actress in costume. The young actress's name, I cannot recall. Let me scroll down. It'll be on here.
Hey, don't worry about it. As soon as the show drops, that show drops on Disney Plus, no one's going to forget her name by that point. Oh my god.
Iman Vellani.
Hang on. Yeah, I'll try to pull up the same thing as well. How cool does the costume look?
It looks so cool. It looks perfect.
I freaking love that they've gone with Converse as well. Like, she's just wearing the trainers. Like, it's a really nicely detailed superhero costume, and then she's just got her trainers on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
It's very Kamala.
Yes, that is great.
But yeah, The Marvels, directed by Nia DaCosta, so we know we're getting Brie Larson's Carol Danvers, of course.
Oh, is that our first Domino mask in the MCU? I've just realised.
Yeah, because Bucky didn't wear one, did he?
No, he just had smudges around his eyes. Like,
well, he kind of had the lower face mask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they went with that, but she and goggles, and then when he took them off, it was just sort of smudged around. But I think Kamala's our first superhero Domino mask in the MCU.
I reckon so. Because secret identities haven't been a huge thing in the MCU.
That's true. Yeah.
Only really for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they throw that out at the end of Iron Man straight away. Because most of those superheroes end up becoming public figures, as they would. Of course there would be a cult of celebrity around superheroes. And therefore the secret identity kind of goes out the window for a lot of them. But yeah, so we're getting Brie Larson returning as Carol Danvers. We're getting...
And in the middle of the logo as well, we get... the symbol that's on Carol's chest, like the sort of the Kree symbol that she's kind of taken and turned into her own, like in her own colours, but it's white, like Photon / Spectrum's version,
like Monica Rambeau
was Captain Marvel.
We're getting to Yona Paris as Monica Rambeau, and we, as I say, more than likely getting Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel, directed by Nia Costa. We've also know that the main antagonist has been cast.
Oh!
And it's... we don't know who the main antagonist is, but we know they're being played by Zoe Ashton.
Right.
Which is a neat casting, because I like Zoe Ashton.
Who could she be?
Who knows? Who knows?
That opens up. I mean, then again, the MCU interprets and like gender swaps and does all sorts of stuff with these villains if it feels like it's the right version for the story. See, like the versions of the Mandarin, Carly Morgenthau, and Falcon and Soldier. So this could, but that's good. Either way, I'm like, I'd like to see her play a bad guy.
Yeah, she's always an interesting performer. So yeah, The Marvels. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to a female ensemble. Bring that shit on. I'm all about it. I'm also all about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. February 17th, 2023. I recently rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp for the entertainment of a small child who was very enamoured with it. And you know what? So was I. That sequel's really fucking good. It's really
great.
Good.
It's great. What I love about both the Ant-Man films is they feel smaller. No pun intended.
Yeah.
In a way that gives them their own identity. They're the closest films of the MCU to what I want the Spider-Man films to feel like, which is sort of, we deal with this bad guy and no one else knows we're doing it, and here's how we're doing it, and this is fun and an adventure, and mishaps ensue, and also there's an ant playing a drum kit.
Of course. Keeks brought up the sort of criticism that she feels like Scott turns into a bit of an idiot in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I didn't I didn't feel that so much rewatching it. Like, it only seems.
I think he seems that way opposite Hope.
Yeah, he seems that way opposite Hope and Hank, because they're dealing with stuff that's so much more advanced. Like, Scott's a smart guy, but he's a good engineer, but he's not a genius.
No,
like he's sort of an everyman, and he can sort of take and tweak the stuff that Hank and Hope have done. Like, he understands it enough to do that, just from an electrical engineering point of view. But he couldn't invent the Ant-Man stuff on his own, so he can kind of keep up if he's given time. But when they're throwing stuff at him, because that movie only really takes place over the course of like 3 days, so he's getting loads of shit thrown at him constantly, and his main concern is to get back in time to have his house arrest lifted.
Yes.
So I think it works.
It's also great to see Hope not tied down by the whole, that should be me storyline.
Yeah.
Because now it is her. And like Evangeline Lilly's performance, she's clearly feeling liberated in comparison to the first one. Yeah. And I like her a lot more in that one. I wasn't huge on the character in the first, because I was just like, this film is fun. Why does this character have to be but no, I was just like, oh, for God's sake. Like, every time the pace of the first one got really fun, Hope dragged it down into we have to understand the seriousness. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I get that's your role, but so in the second one, the fact that she's just like letting loose and is flying around being an absolute badass, I was like, I like this a lot.
The action stuff with Wasp in the sequel is great. But yeah, 2023, February 17th, Peyton Reed returning to direct. Script by Jeff Loveness, who is written for Rick and Morty, amongst other things.
Jeez,
Rick. Paul Rudd coming back, along with Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Catherine Newton joining as Cassie Lang, so presumably the more grown-up Cassie Lang, and, of course, Jonathan Majors joining as Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Which is going to be intriguing.
We talked about how these adventures are sort of like, sort of smaller scale. Yeah, I mean, this dude travels through time, so they're about to get bigger. Like, the scale of it is about to get a little bit more serious. But, yeah, fantastic actor. Really fun villain. I think Ant-Man's the right franchise to try and do Kang in the MCU.
Also, it's
you
the
can
one
find a way for it to still be goofy, without losing the gimmick and the villainy of it all.
And it's also the one that's most tied to time travel, because of the link they've made between the quantum realm and time travel in Endgame.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to explore that, or Doctor Strange would be places to explore like time travel shenanigans. And also the upcoming Loki show, which we're getting in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
So
yes,
that's going to be fun. Finally, the last confirmed date we've got, although we don't have many details about it, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023.
Originally scheduled for 2021, I think.
Yeah, it would have been shot and almost released by now, probably.
So, like Black Panther before it, this will have gone through at least one big rewrite. To make it work, because when the original Guardians 3 was being formed, James Gunn would have known that Thor was with them when Gamora was gone, and that there was another Gamora out there somewhere. So it probably would have featured Thor being written out in some way, or like part of the narrative, and bringing Gamora in, because they'd confirmed that Zoe Saldana was going to be in number 3. But now we're in a world where the Guardians will have been in another film.
Yeah, they're popping up in Love and Thunder.
Yeah, so...
Or at least some of them. I don't know if all of them are in it, but at least Chris Pratt's in it.
Pratt and Gillen have been seen in Australia around the time that they were filming sequences. So, Nebula and Star-Lord at the very least. Give me more Mantis, that's all I want. Yeah. I just want more Pom Clementine being like, oh yes, use knives. She's so good.
Take ass, kick names.
So this is going to be interesting, because again, it was well into production. It was like a month and a half from shooting.
Yeah.
When James Gunn got fired because of a far right Twitter user, essentially pushing Disney toward a reactionary thing to get him kicked off because of old horrid jokes he made that he'd acknowledged and apologised for 7 years prior.
You say that, but I don't think he had cast it, so I don't think it was that close to shooting.
True, yeah.
Because I think he said that he hadn't cast.
They were definitely in pre-pro, because I think we were meant
it was a pre-production.
Before, yeah, we were definitely meant to shoot before the end of that year, because it was the whole thing of, oh shit, like thousands of crew now have to find new jobs.
To stand down. But I don't think he'd cast Adam Warlock.
I mean, is Adam Warlock in it? I know it's teased at the end of Guardians 3, but
I think he's talked about it. But yeah, could be. Who knows?
Isn't it weird we're going to get Adam Warlock in a post-Thanos storyline?
Oh, Jim Starlin's going to love it. I hate it because he hates everything. Not quite to the degree that good old Alan Moore does, but still.
I've got 5 books in me, and they're all going to come out very soon. Good, Alan. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Do yourself a favour though. Reread them before you put them out, so that you don't regret writing them after you've released them.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be a pattern with all of your work, and I'd love it if you were able to put something out there that you were actually really proud of.
The problem with Alan Moore is that
absolute chuds didn't turn into a religion. Thanks.
The problem with Alan Moore is that people like his work. So finally,
I just like his demeanor.
He
I want him to host a radio
like
show.
His work. I think he's deliberately trying to write things that no one will like, and people keep loving it, and he doesn't understand it. Finally.
Brian Boland did an excellent job drawing my wedding, but I hated the day. It was the worst day of my life. It's like, Alan?
You got Brian to draw your wedding?
Well, of course I did. Have you seen his work? Yeah, no, fair enough.
Finally, in this teaser, we get a very, very brief tease with no date.
What looks to be the final film, as we assume, of Phase 4.
Aptly.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Just a big old 4.
Just teasing us with that logo again. And that's...
I feel so smug about the No Way Home prediction now. I really do.
I hate you.
Jim, remember the building site at the end?
Yeah, especially knowing that...
we can't wait to show you what happens next on the billboard. And there was a 1, a 2, a 3, and then a question mark, all in blue circles with a white background. It was like, that's a Fantastic Four reference.
Especially knowing that John Watts is directing it. That's just ridiculous.
Yes! Oh,
that's ridiculous.
I guess because if Fantastic Four didn't come around, they could always be like, it's just a nod to Phase 4. It's like, yeah, but you knew.
Yeah,
like,
you knew.
You knew. You absolutely knew when you released that film in 2019.
Well, they might not have had it
in 2024. What if it's 2024? I mean, it's all lining up now.
It will be.
Come on.
It'll either be Christmas 2023 or it'll be 2024. But if it's the 4th of the 4th, 2024, that'll be perfect.
That'd be a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm excited about this. There seems to be a lot of confusion online. Blade was trending for most of the day because a lot of people going,
Blade's not in there.
Where's Blade? Like, where we've already had confirmation that it's happening, and Mahershala Ali's playing him, and the director's locked and everything. I think people need to calm down slightly because
it'll be coming.
It'll be coming. It will happen.
And it wouldn't be the first time that we've had a phase slate confirmed and then films slotted into it as well.
Yeah,
like he could very easily become become before Fantastic Four.
It's also entirely possible that like they'll want to keep. I know they said they were aiming for a PG-13 version of Blade, which you can absolutely do and still make it violent and you know about vampires and monsters. You can still do that.
Well, you can with today's standards, yeah.
Yeah, but it's entirely possible they're holding off to see what the market's like on the Disney Plus shows before they go, right, do you know what? We're going to put a lock on it and it's going to go to Disney Plus as like a 6-part miniseries or something. And
I mean, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Again, people might be like, no, you're taking away his chance on the big screen. I'd be like, no, they're giving him 6 hours of character development and arc to work with. I mean, did you all not just enjoy the 2 shows we've just got? More of that, please.
And I think they were definitely pushing the envelope with what they could do on a PG-13 in terms of violence with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Oh God. So, end of episode 4 alone. Like, hello. And that was again. You don't see it. Like it's you see the result of it and the moment before, and it's still shocking and visceral and scary. So. Yeah. But also it could just be that these are the ones currently in pre or active production.
Yeah, even if they're in early pre-production, like they've probably got at least first draft scripts, even the ones that are 2023.
Yeah. Like Blade might still be being written.
Yeah.
So they're not going to say, and here's when it's coming out, because it's like, no. Mum's going to call you down for dinner when it's ready. Like, she ain't going to call you down while it's still defrosting. Let's just,
Chris, what if they do Midnight Suns?
Oh, right. It's funny you should mention that. Because...
Okay. All right.
Again, we're really excited about these movies. I think as a sizzle reel, it's really tasty, and they made the right choice about half a day into releasing it, of renaming it Sizzle Reel. On some of the platforms, because it's like, okay, sure, like you're not saying this is a new trailer, you're saying this is a sizzle reel.
Yeah, because if it's a new trailer, there's an awful lot of old fucking footage in that.
P.S. At the end, there's a little summon for you all to get excited about. Like, fair enough, that's good. I'm currently reading a couple of the War Zones books from Marvel that span out of
Secret Wars. Yes. Tell me of Secret Wars.
And I've got 3. I'm only reading 2 right now because another one I'm saving for a bit later. But I'm reading Spider Island.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows.
Neither of which I have read.
I read Renew Your Vows before in 2015 as it came out, and it's great. It is really, really cool.
I think I might have read the first issue of Renew Your Vows. I don't think I read anything else.
But yeah, I'm reading Spider Island at the moment. Basic premise, for those who don't know, Secret Wars. The universes are colliding. Things called incursions are happening throughout the multiverse, and everything's collapsing. And 2 universes, 2 Earths in particular, are about to collide. And they're hit with the notion that, look, if this happens, the multiverse ceases to exist and all life is dead. So you have to blow up that other planet. And I have issues with the way that happens, but we'll get to that. But it's the Ultimate Universe and the main Marvel Universe, the 616. And
that's the final one.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're about to. That's sort of the impetus for. Oh God, this is it now. And then due to someone else making a deal with some higher power, everything gets rewritten, and now Marvel is Game of Thrones, basically.
Yeah. There's one planet left in all of existence. It's Patchwork Battle World.
Yeah, and it's got different continents and countries and whatnot. And the War Zones books are about those different continents. Some of them don't make sense because it's like, hang on, but that character exists on that continent and on this one. But then again, it is a patchwork quilt, so
and also like the sort of the tension of all these different fragments of realities coexisting in Battle World is kind of addressed in the main Secret Wars series.
Yeah, so like there's like Spider-Man exists in the Spider Island version of Manhattan, which is its own continent, but he also exists in the new version of Manhattan in the Renew Your Vows series. Yep. It's like, okay, but the Midnight Suns just came to mind because I'm halfway through reading the Spider Island one, which is basically, what if the Spider Island event, where everyone in New York through infected bedbugs was mutating into spider creatures slowly over time, being controlled by an evil woman called the Queen, who essentially rules over all spiders. What if Spider-Man and co hadn't found a solution to save the day, and it was still going on, and was so far contained to Manhattan, but everybody's a giant spider in varying degrees of transformation. What happens with like the few resistance who've survived? And Venom is leading the charge. Agent Venom, Flash Thompson, teamed up with Spider-Woman and Vision, like trying to keep people safe. But one of their agents, like who helps them find information out, is Werewolf by Night. who, if I remember rightly, is called Jack Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Man-Wolf, who is...
No. Although he plays a part in this too.
Yeah.
So Jack Russell is the Werewolf by Night. Basically, at night, dude turns into a werewolf. So at night, if they're fighting off these spider people in certain areas and they're trying to get this, that, and the other, supplies to bring back to base, one of these spider people the moon comes out, and suddenly it transforms into a werewolf.
Brilliant.
And is himself again, and is like, "Oh, Agent Venom, hello." And it's like, "Great, can you help us out?" "Yeah, brilliant." So, which is a great idea, but it leads to Flash coming up with a plan. Because at the start of the thing, Vision is helping him steal things from certain facilities. And even though Spider-Man isn't a main role when the book starts, like, Spider-Man and Spider Island inform the story. So they predict and pretend to be lured into a trap by Captain America, who is the Spider King, is the Queen's, like, right-hand minion. He was one of the first people transformed in the Spider Island event, which was a big twist in that event. Sorry, guys, spoilers for a 7-year-old comic book event.
More than that, surely.
2013. Yeah, 8 years now. Jesus wept. Captain America, Captain Marvel, who currently just looks like herself, but she's got a load of eyes all over her forehead and her teeth are looking weird.
Brilliant.
And Hulk, who has got 6 giant freaking arms growing out of his torso and is covered in little spidey hairs. They managed to subdue them long enough for Flash to enact his plan. Based on what happens to Werewolf by Night, who apparently, when he transforms back into a spider creature, has been informing the Queen of what Venom is up to.
Well, yeah, of course. Makes sense.
Which they predicted, which is how they got led into this trap that they're not actually being led into because they knew it was going to happen. Venom implants the crystal, the Godstone or whatever it's called, of the Man-Wolf into Captain America's chest.
Oh, hello.
So Captain America transforms into a werewolf, which in itself is a nod back to Captain America being a werewolf.
Yeah.
But so he's not a spider anymore, he's a werewolf. Vision manages to inject Carol with Michael Morbius's serum, so she becomes a living vampire. And Jessica, Spider-Woman, subdues Hulk with her pheromones just long enough. It's great because he's like, "Smash! Want to hurt, but pretty. Hurt pretty person, maybe." Like, he's just really confused because he's like wants to kill her, but he's like, she's like pouring all of the pheromone power onto him. Like, leave me alone, just a second. And that's when they dose him with Kurt Connor's lizard serum. So they get Captain Marvel, Captain America, and Hulk back on their side by basically turning them into 3 other things.
I love it.
And it's the whole plan of, like, we'll try and figure out how to cure you later, but right now, you're back. And as far as we're aware, you won't turn into a spider person while you're this. Because she controls people based on their DNA.
Yeah.
And your DNA is no longer spider. So let's see what we can do.
It's being rewritten.
They get ambushed by Iron Man. And he's properly going to stop them before they get back to base. So Venom, in a last-ditch effort to sort of like, oh god, he pulls out this thing out of his pouches, because Agent Venom, he's got them pouches.
Love a pouch.
And he holds Tony down, who's like in the black and yellow armour from, Marvel Now, but with a weird spider head sticking out of the top instead. And he's like, "This is a last resort, Tony. I'm so sorry. Breathe it in." And he just sprays him with this gas. And he starts to turn back, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "God, it was funny." It's like, I mean, I can't... It worked. What you did worked. I always used to think Osborn was a hack, but here we go. And he's just properly chuckling away to himself. And it's like, okay, subdue that.
No.
Subdue that. You've got the goblin formula in your system. Just try and retreat. Like, it drives people to insanity. Eventually, if we can hold it off, we can keep you as you for at least a day, we can make this work. And he's like, all right, sure. It's a great idea. But
that's neat.
I'm reading these because I finally read Secret Wars, written by Jonathan Hickman. Big event, changed everything, got rid of one universe. Afterwards, basically, the multiverse essentially returns. Just Ultimate and 616 aren't separate anymore.
Yeah.
Or rather, Ultimate's gone, but the things you like are now in the 616.
Yeah.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
No. I'm so sad.
It's tough. Jonathan Hickman's a fantastic writer, but I feel like I'm reading the Silmarillion when I should be reading The Hobbit.
Yeah, he's a world builder. Like, he gets hung up on the world around him, which is kind of what I'm kind of... Yeah, what I like about it is probably what you don't like about it, which is the kind of glory of personal taste. But yeah, I get you. I get you.
I mean, I love the level of detail. I was first I've read some of his Fantastic Four and I really enjoyed it, but I was first smacked around the head with the literate sausage of Hickman's oeuvre with Infinity.
Yeah.
And that was jarring. I read it as the miniseries Infinity, the big event.
Yeah, it's definitely not meant to be read like that.
And then I eventually bought the UK Trades, which is a big 2-part, giant, meaty trade paperbacks, which is how you're meant to read it, because it's not Infinity. It's New Avengers, Infinity. New Avengers, Infinity.
And
etc., etc.
I truly
works
believe
so much better.
That was the way it was originally envisioned, but editorial made him make it the summer event.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that too. I feel like Secret Wars is almost the same. What I've enjoyed more so has been the spin-off material rather than the main event. That being said, there's some tasty shit in the main event.
Isard Ribbick's art.
Oh my god, yes.
The man draws like a motherfucker.
The zombified Joseph Braddock. Is it Joseph Braddock? Brian's
Jamie Braddock.
Jamie Braddock. The zombified Jamie Braddock in full Captain Britain costume with the horde of the dead beyond the wall. Sorry, the shield. Just going like, but we like to eat brains. It's like, yeah, but come and fight with us. Okay, like the expressions on the undead are phenomenal. Like, great, especially the MODOK one is just kind of like hanging there in midair with his little limbs dangling, which is creepy. The work on he can draw Val really well. Not many artists can get away with drawing a child without you eventually going. A lot of artists find that looks weird. Yeah,
a lot of artists find kids difficult.
And she looked great, and she's one of the main characters in the book. The thing I loved the most was the deconstruction of Victor Von Doom, and the fact that he essentially communes with the universe and is like, "I'll steer this world into existence so these two worlds don't die. I'll mash them up as best I can so that people get to live." And also, I will be their god.
It's absolute hubris and arrogance, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that... It's Game of Thrones, right? Hickman was watching a lot of Game of Thrones when he came up with this, or reading a lot of Game of Thrones, because it's Doom is god, and he sits upon, not an iron throne, but like a big tree inside a hallway. Is it the World Tree?
Yeah.
Of course, because Doomstadt, where he is, like Castle Doom, is the home of the Thors.
Yeah, who are the police force of Battleworld, yeah.
Who go through an Arthurian-style like initiation where people are recruited and only the one who can lift a Mjolnir, folks, a Mjolnir, because there's a shitload of them, gets to join the ranks, and sort of our character into it after the worlds collide is basically a rookie cop. Who's a rookie Thor, who's working alongside the Allfather, who's basically like the Thor in charge, who's like the eldest Thor. And like that's a great idea. I love the fact that it's divided into separate shitty kingdoms, and it seems like all of them are shitty. Like, one of the main ones is run by Mr. Sinister, who's... I've never seen him drawn more slimy than I have here. He's like... It's like Littlefinger as Mr. Sinister. It's just like, oh!
Hickman likes Mr. Sinister. He's doing some fun stuff with him in his current X-Men run.
We don't get to see them, really, but the Hellfire Club are their own sort of district.
Basically, every district has its own spin-off series, so...
Yeah, the Maestro, you want to dive into one of them. That's where Hulk is, and...
Yeah.
You know, you've got all your... All this, that, and the other, but I love the idea that like Sheriff Strange is his right hand man, and
it's
is sort of aware of the existence before everything, but also is aware that he can't go against the will of Victor, not just because he's his friend, but it's almost like something in his head is telling him he's not allowed to.
Well, it's also the thing with Doctor Strange is that everything that's brought him to that point is sort of like he is a man who has embraced what he sees as necessary evils.
Yeah.
So at that point, he's kind of... he's sort of made a deal with the devil in that sense because of everything he did to try and avoid this. He's now had to embrace being a part of it and helping Victor to create the battle world as well.
But Victor, why is it called the battle world? Is it because it sort of is the same as the name of that other thing from the other series called Secret Wars from about 30 years ago?
Yep.
No one bring
Definitely.
it up. Okay, no one bring
Definitely.
it up. All right. But no, you don't get it, guys. It's battle world because the worlds are battling for supremacy and survival, and that's blah, blah, blah. It didn't need to be called Secret Wars. It really didn't. It could have had a different name, and it would have made more sense. But
to be fair, Hickman draws upon a lot of that stuff when he's setting it up in Avengers and New Avengers because he does go into things like the Beyonders.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, God Doom or whatever would have, like, you know.
And the Molecule Man being a huge part of it as well.
The Molecule Man.
Goes back to Secret Wars.
We owe the Molecule Man for Miles still being a thing.
Because they set
and
up
Rio Morales being a thing again. Which I love because Miles doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. Because once everything's rewritten, it's just like, oh, of course
it's always been that way.
Why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
Which is great.
But
and obviously, in the Spider-Man series, you learn more of the other things that are now the status quo, like Uncle Aaron is around, even though he wasn't anymore in Ultimate. And
the thing with Molecule Man is it's set up in Avengers and New Avengers towards the end that Molecule Man is basically a failsafe that was built into every reality by the Beyonders.
Which I love. That they go into that in here as well, which I thought was a great idea. And he's like, since all the worlds are folded in, like, I'm the only me, and that's for the best, but I feel hollow.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't feel right. And I'm so hungry. Like, I'm so hungry. All the time, I'm starving. Like, because normally I'm eating in a million different realities. I'm having summit. But I've gotten out. And every time someone visits him in his little pocket universe, where essentially he's holding this reality together, he's like, did you bring anything to eat? It's like, Doom's like, no. He's like, oh, shame. Right, what do you want? And it's Miles is the first person to give him something because he just happens to have a day-old cheeseburger tucked into the belt of his costume that he forgot about. To which Peter's like, technically, we were in stasis for like 8 years in our Ark ships, so that's an 8-year-old cheeseburger.
Yeah, probably still good.
The Beyonder takes a bite, and he's like, the Molecule Man takes a bite, and he's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten. Right, what can I do for you? And it pays off because obviously later on he's like, I owe you one, kid.
Yeah.
It's great. And I like the idea of the universe shifting around these ships. It turns out there are 2 where reality can change around them, but when the ships open, the people who got on them, arcs, just come out and see the new world, and they are unchanged. So you've got the one from Earth with Reed Richards and a bunch of characters on, and then you've got the one commandeered by the current Cabal, which is like Thanos, Black Swan, Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Maximus the Mad, Terrax,
Namor on that one?
Namor's on that one, yeah. And I like that idea. What I really didn't like was, and maybe I need to read his Avengers build up to it, but I'm like, I don't believe for a second that either this universe or the Ultimate Universe would just go into, no, let's go kill that other world. It's like, what?
No, it's a long build up, particularly in New Avengers.
I think I needed the build up, or at least a previously page would do.
Yeah,
they never do it. A previously page just to be like, here's what shit's gone down.
New Avengers, New Avengers particularly is all about the sort of the moral compromises that the Illuminati make in trying to stop the incursions, which is leads to Doctor Strange eventually helping Doom create the battle world. It leads to Reed becoming Renegade and basically putting everything else aside to try and save his reality, which backfires because he loses everyone.
Yeah, as the ship's entering the sort of the atmosphere of the blast zone as well, it breaks away, and I think Ben's still on Earth anyway, and it's like Sue and Johnny are in the breakaway part, and it disappears into nothingness.
And the kids.
And it's like, oh my god! But of course,
Doom pulls them.
Well, yeah, when he retreats, because in this new reality, Franklin Storm, Sue and Johnny's dad, is the one who was the fourth member of the team in this new reality who went up to space. Because they sort of imply that pre-Doom, there was an existence without him, but he's the one who's given the universe meaning and the world meaning.
Yeah.
And that's why he's seen as God. And everyone worships him. And even those like Strange were like, I kind of remember a previous life. And I know we made a decision that led to this. But something in me is telling me to not go against Victor.
Yeah.
To not stop him. Because, of course, it is Victor's will that Strange be his right-hand man. So he's still his own person, but he's like... It's sort of like he's genetically built to not completely usurp God, because that's how God wills it.
Yeah.
But he's also come up with contingencies, because he's got like a map of Battleworld, like he's tried to figure out how it should be, and he's got an Infinity Gauntlet just tucked away, waiting to be used, and Black Panther uses it to help with the fight at the end, and it's like, that is great. But like, so yeah, going back, it's just I think I needed that build up context for
yeah,
it,
definitely.
It's just like, wow, this is horrid, and then to have the maker, the Reed Richards of the Ultimate Universe, who is a villain, also be in the story. For the first half of the book, I was like, you two are as bad as each other.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you're horrid. But then the maker gets fucked up by the Molecule Man. So.
There is that.
Bye bad guy.
The thing with Secret Wars is, as much as it's an event on its own, it is absolutely a culmination. Again, I think it was meant to be the end of his Avengers run, which they then were like, oh no, we're going to make it a big event and use it to reboot the universe,
and also use it to basically shadow cancel the Fantastic Four for a while.
Yeah,
because they all retire essentially, and you're like, oh, okay, like we're going to stop being superheroes, really? Yeah, for a while, and it's like,
yeah. Well, Johnny and Ben stick around, but Sue, Reed, and the kids go off to... They basically go off to create and map the multiverse anew with the Molecule Man.
And stop advertising the Fantastic Four to the comic market so that Fox get less money, which is really just... I mean, we don't have to worry about that now, and Dan Slott's been doing Fantastic Four for like 2 years at this point as a whole series.
It's great.
And it's great that they're back, because they deserve to be back. They're amazing characters. But yes, so in this reality... Sue and Johnny's dad is who went with them, so he was, whatever powers he got, he was also bombarded by the cosmic rays. The incursions go down, he dies, and Victor Von Doom saves the rest of them. So Sue falls in love with him, and that's the thing as well. They don't sort of... What I thought was kind of great was Doom's never been like, you know, all I want in this universe is Sue Storm to love me.
That's Namor's thing. That's Namor's thing.
Yeah. An early thing has been him sort of being like, you know, come to my side, and like, why are you with Richards? He's an arsehole, and this, that, and the other. And I kind of like that in this, though she is his queen, there isn't really a romantic relationship. There isn't a sexual relationship. Like, she's essentially she is his right hand. She is his morals.
Yeah.
She centers him. So it's like, okay, good, because I know obviously Doom is a villain and an evil bad guy in that, but it would have been just an extra step to, if it had been a bit rapey as well. I'm glad that that's not the case. It's more that she's like, you saved my family, I am going to marry you. It's a very fairy tale version of it.
Yeah.
But they still have children, although they don't have children, as we realize, like Val and Franklin, they don't have them. But as far as anyone knows, they're their kids. Because he also makes Ben into the Shield, like the wall separating them from the world of the dead and everything is Ben, and Johnny is put into the sky and turned into the sun. Because people have vague memories of the sun and the warmth and the light that it gives. So he's like, right, well, that's what you can be then. You can be up there and be the sun. And it's framed to Susan that they both did something wrong against the word of God, so that they are not being punished, but they are being used to make the world a better place in the name of God, in the name of Doom. So it's extra satisfying later on when the rebellions begin and like the Annihilus faction and all this stuff starts to attack. that Ben basically just gets the fuck up. Like, just breaks out of the ground and then goes to fight a puppeteered Megazord Galactus. Which is a lot of fun. The best thing about it, though, the thing I really dug was the dissection of Doom.
Yeah.
And his character. Especially when Reed delivers some really big truths to him.
Yeah.
It's like, so as soon as Reed appears in the ship, Doom's reaction is like, you fucking what, mate? It's like, hang on. No, he should not be here. Part of me kind of expected he would show up at some point, because that's something he always does it, the little bastard, but he shouldn't be here. He should be gone. And Sue's like, that man, he's interesting. Do we know him? And Doom's like, no, we don't. No, we do
Definitely
not know
not.
the man who was your husband and the father of your children in an alternate universe. No, we don't know Reed Richards at all. I don't even know his name. I'm just pulling a name out of my ass. Oh, Bede Bitchins, that's his name. Little Bede Bitchins. So you've got all that, and it's when Reed finally confronts him at the end. And it's all hinging on, like, the Molecule Man's like, look, I've done this because it's saving everybody. But if someone could do it better than Victor, then sure, I'll relinquish it. I'll reset. Let's work together. But I can't change it. Like, Victor did this. Strange facilitated it. I'm allowing it to continue because people are safe. If someone can think of a better way, great. And then Doctor Doom and Mr. Fantastic beat the shit out of each other in the Molecule Man's void, because Doom's powers are lessened in there. He's still, like, burning Reed from the inside out at one point. But, like, his powers are lessened. So Reed's like, right, boa constrictor mode. And it's just holding him down and beating the piss out of him. But it's great because Reed's essentially like, think about it. You are so terrified of me and what me and my family are to you and can do to you, that you've put Johnny up there, you made Ben into this, you've turned Susan into just a freaking royal vizier, like, you've subdued everyone. You've turned Val into, like, your religious engineer, religious scientific engineer. Yep. Franklin's nothing more than a kid playing with a Megazord. Like, if God is to be feared, and you have made yourself into basically me, you've replaced me in my family, I'm God. Like, you fear me more than anything. And Doom's like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, shut up. Because he realizes, like, yeah, Reed's dropping truth bombs. Reed is absolutely dropping truth bombs. Doom is like, I am all things. But yeah, you're all things, but you're also piss scared of Reed Richards.
Oh, yeah.
And you always have been.
And it's again, it's as well as it being sort of a culmination of his Avengers and New Avengers run, it's also a sequel to his Fantastic Four run.
Yeah.
Which is very much about Reed and Doom.
You can feel it in the writing that, like, he's reveling getting to write these guys again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, just if I could get hold of him, there's, like, I never had, like, a finale, like, not the way I wanted. Maybe this is it, and this is it. And I love the idea of, he's like, you are just ashamed because you know I would do a better job at this than you. Yeah. And Doom just, like, quietly admits, he goes, yes, you would. But that doesn't mean I what. And that's when Molecule Man's like, oh, great, okay. And Doom's like, wait, no. And then click. Everything starts to change. And then we have the 8-month skip. So, which means I can pick up my Spider-Man binge shortly with Worldwide. But yeah, I didn't love it. And I don't know if I like the events. I don't know. It's starting to make me revise whether or not any of them have ever been good.
It's something you have to think about. Like, events, by their nature, can often be sort of compromised as stories.
Individual book events, I don't mind so much. Like, I dig them because it's an exploration of what that title and what the supporting characters are. But
I think a lot of them suffer from originally being conceived as story arcs for their sort of home titles, which are then blown up by editorial into these huge things. I believe that was the case with Secret Wars. It would have been the case with Infinity.
It would have been an absolutely boss, like, Avengers event. But I think hinging the whole multiverse on it is a bit, okay, sure. Especially because after the fact, it all gets reset anyway. It's just, Ultimate doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's just,
and yet Spider-Man 2 ends with a flash that, no, it still exists. Like, it's still out there. And it's like, although Bendis has said, nobody touch it. Leave it. Like, I put that in there as don't worry, people who genuinely love it. It still exists. But no one fucking touch it now. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, House of M was really cool. Civil War was great, but like the more you get used to the style of Mark Millar, the more it falls apart when you can kind of see that it's got one voice. Everyone has one voice in that book.
Yeah.
No one's distinct.
I think Bendis's run of events was pretty solid. You get Civil War into Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion's boss. Yeah, okay.
And then into Siege.
And that's
which
great.
Sort of, sets the sort of thing for the heroic age, which then Bendis sort of like relinquishes, and you get things like Fear Itself, which is fine.
I'm not fond. Yeah, I'm not fond of Fear Itself at all.
And AVX, which is fine.
Yeah, not big on that one.
Axis, which is not great.
No. The only thing I enjoyed from Axis was the Carnage miniseries that came after it, where he's like, I'm a good guy now, and he just kidnaps this woman, and he's like, how do I be a good guy? Like, can you help me figure it out? Mm-hmm. I know I want to do good, but I'm not entirely sure how. And she's just like, fucking get off me. It feels like part 5 of a slasher film series where they're like, we're leading into the comedy now. That was kind of it. Oh, and I sort of like the Hobgoblin mini where Roderick Kingsley's like, well, I used to sell bad guy identities to people, but now I'm suddenly feeling compelled to not do that, so I'm going to try and create some vigilantes. And you're like, is this any less dangerous?
Yeah.
Is this any less stupid?
No, I think they had some. I think a lot of the time the better stuff that comes out of the events is the little spin-offs that can be fun, like because you get to do something weird for 4 or 5 issues.
I mean, the original Sin, the whole the truth bomb.
Oh yeah.
That led to some great ideas because suddenly everyone who was at ground zero for that is a secret is revealed to them that was either
original Sin,
kept from them or is tied to them and they were unaware of. And that led to some cool shit. I mean, reading Amazing Spider-Man again, like Peter suddenly sees, hang on, the spider bit another person before it died. Wait, what? And it leads into Silk and Spider-Verse and, so there's, I don't know. Anyone who's a regular listener to this who's like, guys, where should I jump in? I want to start comics, but where should I jump in? Don't jump in with Secret Wars. With Secret Wars.
No.
Or Fear Itself or Original Sin or AVX. Like, avoid like the plague. But
don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Do you know what isn't a bad idea?
What's that?
Planning for the future. Because while we've been, quarantined and tiered and everything, we've been very fortunate in this day and age to have distractions around us.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if this had happened in the, the 60s or the 70s. Imagine if this had happened even in the early 2000s. We'd have burnt through all of our VHS tapes, and do you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much battery a Tamagotchi can survive on. We've been when people were like, "Oh God, I can't believe I'm stuck at home." It's like, yeah, it genuinely sucks, but you also have the internet. You have a streaming service or 3 at your disposal at any given time. You've got a games console. You can read any book you want to buy on a bloody Kindle. Or like there's so much you can do. Like, it sucks to be thingy, and yes, we all want to get out, but you are able to take care of yourself, like, in a way that you couldn't. I mean, 5 years ago, you couldn't do half the stuff we're doing now to keep yourself occupied. So, as we're seeing sort of the light at the end of the tunnel, a little more with everyone's vaccinations and either having happened or halfway through. Or, my case, like, can I have an envelope through the post at some point? Or a text, please? Any news would be nice.
Yeah, you'll get a text, mate. Don't worry.
And with Marvel queuing up that trailer and be like, hey, come on back to the cinema. It's nearly time. And me being like, probably going to stream Black Widow at home, but I should hopefully see you for Shang-Chi. Like, it got me thinking about places I really want to go. Once we're able to, be a bit more freewheeling. I mean, for starters, I want to pop round to yours. I want to go to my brother's. I want to see, like, all my family and friends in the vicinity and actually, see
that I'm looking forward to.
Beyond that, like, I want to go to town. I want to eat a burger in a restaurant I like. I want to, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to eventually go to a gig, but I'm waiting for them to figure out how to do that the right way. Like, there's
honestly,
things
I think
like
by the time they come round, again, I honestly think that we will it will be safe to go.
But the movie trailer for Marvel and other stuff has also got me thinking wistfully and facetiously, if you will.
Yeah.
And May the 4th being yesterday. Happy May the 4th yesterday, by the way. I love Star Trek. Everyone posting all their posts of these far-off worlds and clips and thingies. What I want to know is, if you, post-quarantine, could visit any fictional location, television, film, the written word, where would you want to go to celebrate your post-quarantine? And for why? Because top of my list, probably, like absolute tippity top of my list. Again, fictional locations, folks, is the rules. I want to go to Wakanda, mate.
Well, like, why not?
If I went into lockdown immediately after that, for whatever reason, like if the world went back into a lockdown, I wanted to at least be like, do you know what? I got to sit in a flying taxi ship that flew through skyscrapers in the middle of a giant rainforest area, like in Africa, whilst looking over the most coolest technology in the freaking world. I want to go to that marketplace that you see, the street that you see in the film that T'Challa and Nakia are walking around. It literally just looks like the happiest goddamn place ever.
Yeah,
I could smell the cooking while watching it recently. I was just like, I can smell it, which is worrying because like it's just on the TV. Is something on fire? Probably. Most things, but Wakanda be at the top of my list currently. I wanna go to Wakanda. I wanna be there, Matt. I wanna be where Black Panther is. I want to see the Dora Milaje. Something. We're both owned by Disney, so sing.
I'd like to visit Middle Earth.
For realsies.
I'd like to have a mug of beer on a nice sunny afternoon in a lovely little cozy pub in Hobbiton.
Oh,
I would like to.
There we go. There it is.
I would like to walk the grassy plains of Rohan and see horses galloping in the distance. I want to climb the rocky trails of the mountains.
You want to run in a group of 3, and every now and again just get a little further behind the other 2 people in your party.
Yeah.
But when we look back at you, you'll somehow be right next to them again, and then get a little bit further away, and then we'll look away from you and be.
I want to force perspectives.
My favourite thing. That's my favourite thing in the 2 towers. Just Gimli lagging behind, and then in the next shot he's right next to him and he lags behind. And it's like continuity, guys. Come on.
Well, he gets closer, then he backs off, and he gets closer, then he backs off.
It's harder to get like reshoots sorted really quickly in a helicopter, though. To be fair,
they run for 3 days straight, Christopher.
Even the trees walked in those fucking movies.
I want to visit the forest of Fangorn.
Oh yeah. All right. Dirty boy.
Evil. Not the evil, but the old trees. The old musty trees. Yeah.
If you go to a pub in Hobbiton, they're gonna have to comply with the post-pandemic rules, because they're definitely going to need an outside seating area for you to be able to drink at the pub in Hobbiton.
Nah, mate, New Zealand, innit?
No, it's Hobbiton. It's Hobbiton, a fictional land. If it was New Zealand, let's be honest. If it wasn't places from film and TV, we'd all just go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
But we'd undergo intense screening before we got there, so we didn't fuck it up for them.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Hobbiton, they're going to have to get outside seating, because like, you are not fitting in that Hobbit pub.
No.
Not without being uncomfortable.
You'd be surprised.
A forced perspective pint. Or as the New Zealanders call it, a Foster's perspective pint. They don't.
Get out.
It's not even an Australian beer. It just had a strong ad campaign. Australia denounces Foster's.
Get out.
Of where? I can't go anywhere.
I denounce Foster's.
Dirty boy. Dirty boy. What are you like?
I'm like a reader of emails.
Well, speaking of emails, I want to hear for next week, here be the job for you all, bigdamcontact@gmail.com. I want to know what fictional location you would love to visit post-pandemic and why. I want to know what you're going to get up to, what indulgences you're going to revel in. This be something I must know, because if I ain't going anywhere straight away, I want to live vicariously through somebody saying that they want to go to like the Smurf village or some shit. So bigdamcontact@gmail.com. Where do you want to visit post-pandemic in a fictional world?
Yes.
And for why? Who have we got this week? Who's emailed in with their little pause?
This one comes in from James.
Hey, James.
And sharing some thoughts with us on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It says, Chris and Matt.
Hey, James.
Hello.
Well done.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is over. Captain America and the Winter Soldier has begun. Maybe. This show was a ride. It had highs and lows, it had good and bad, and was sometimes a little ugly. Well, maybe not bad, but certainly muddy in places. I'm looking at you, stuff to do with the Flag Smashers. Don't think I forgot you, Zemo, only putting on his mask once. What was good, eh? This show had some great action, but also some really great moments to pause and talk that you wouldn't necessarily get in a film. The show had Zemo, and it had Zemo in spades, plus Zemo had an Alfred. What more could you want? The show gave us... Exactly. The show gave us Isaiah Bradley and his grandson, who I'm sure will be popping up again sometime in the future. It wouldn't surprise me if they're teeing it up for later on. They like to hedge their bets. The show had some of the best costumes in the MCU, the two best both belonging to Sam. Phase 4's doing well in that department. The show had Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, Captain America. The rest of the cast were just as magnificent. One thing that has struck me both here and in WandaVision is how spectacular the music is, something I don't think people spoke enough about with the previous show. Wanda's theme has quickly become one of my favourite MCU pieces, and I really hope Danny Elfman and future MCU composers aren't too stubborn to use it. The show has been benefited greatly from having Henry Jackman on board after returns on Winter Soldier and Endgame, as it manages to create and develop so many leitmotifs from those films, creating a fantastic theme for Sam in Louisiana Hero. Let themes live in other movies, Marvel, please! I agree.
Yeah, through lines, we need them. It's nice, like especially when they use the Avengers one for emotional effects in the other films. It's always a nice sort of like, it gives you the feeling of like, oh yes, the togetherness, the teamwork. Remember those times we all went through? It's like, let's have the themes carry through. I was so annoyed that Spidey's theme in Homecoming barely resurfaced in Far From Home.
Yeah,
the Michael Giacchino and the bum 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 bum, like it rarely came back up, and I was like, oh, that's a shame because it's a great theme for it.
It is a great little theme. Yeah. James goes on to say, I'm looking forward to Sharon's next dirty deal, possibly in Armor Wars.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I like the idea that people have floated about. I'm most certainly looking forward to Cap 4. I hope they don't break up the Dream Team. I will be sad, though, if Cap 4 means no Season 2 or Season 1 of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, as I've loved tuning in to see these two guys getting up to shenanigans every week. Keep on going, boys. You're nearly there. From a human with a metal arm. That's awesome, dude. I mean, James. Thanks, James.
Thanks, James. Bless your eyes and bless your neck. I too enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's my lock screen, my home screen on my phone. Make you got a bit of Falcon.
Oh, very fancy, very fancy.
And that's my wallpaper on my lock screen.
Yes.
Bit of Sam Wilson flying his ass around the universe, getting up to shenanigans and dreams.
Shenanigans.
The music was wonderful, and I agree. Like the motifs carrying on through would be nice, but yeah, definitely the ones in WandaVision left an impact. Yeah. And that was something I was a bit miffed about. I watched Marvel Studios assembled the Falcon and the Winter Soldier the other day. The behind the scenes series, which is great. I love that Disney Plus is like on everything they've got. There's like, here's some extras, even if it's just like the trailer. Here's some extras, and DVD bonus features. Screw that. We're gonna give you like an hour-long documentary on the service that you can watch and just enjoy. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier one was great, but it didn't touch on the music like ever.
No. People forget about the music, man, especially in TV.
And he comes from down your way. He can play.
I hate you. And I also hate you, the audience.
That was the worst segue for analytics ever.
So yeah, if you guys want to get in touch with us, of course, with your fictional places to visit after lockdown, and any other missives that you might have that we deem to be worthy to be read on the air, then you
if they're palatable for the ears, then they're likely to be read out.
Get us on bigdamcontact@gmail.com or tweet us at bigdamcast on the Twitters. Come and watch us stream at twitch.tv/bigdamstream. And if you do have a bit of cash and you want to throw it our way to help us keep doing this fucking nonsense, then you can do that at patreon.com/bigdamcast. Christopher.
Mattstopher.
Let's go.
Where? We can't go anywhere.
Let's go.
Fly a kite?
No, we can't fly kites. We can't be together. No, I guess we can outdoors at a distance of 2 meters. We'll just have a very long cord.
We could fly kites, like with really long cords, with messages on for each other, and we'd probably be able to see it through binoculars from where we are.
That's way too complicated. Bye.
Just 'cause you don't. Neither do I.